A mother begged for being upset with the clothes my granddaughter wore on her way out of the maternity ward. I know it sounds silly, but I would like an outside opinion and accept any judgment. I have 4 children and 5 grandchildren. For all of my grandchildren, I made a neat clothes and had for them to come out of the maternity ward. It started with my first grandchild and all the ones that followed. My kids asked me to do it. It is customary in my country for clothes to be a certain color to represent something good like health, peace, and protection. I don't do it professionally and I work. So it's something I do in my spare time and it takes months because I do it with all love and care. Nor do I force my children to accept it. Most ask right after they announce the pregnancy if I can make the clothes. My oldest daughter, I will call her Palm, announced that she was pregnant and asked me to make it for her daughter. We found out later. Clearly, I did. She chose the color red, and honestly, it was one of the prettiest jobs I've ever done, and finished within 7 months of her pregnancy. She gave birth about 20 days ago. My granddaughter was born healthy, perfect, and bright. I was heartbroken on the way out of the maternity ward when I found out that my granddaughter will not wear the clothes I made, but one that Pam got from her in-laws from a very expensive brand like Gucci. I didn't say anything to her, but in conversation with my son, I just vented that I was heartbroken about it and that I would have any problems if she didn't ask, and I didn't do it in the scene of exposing my daughter or anything. But just after my son insisted on me talking because he realized that I was a little down, the word spread among my children until it reached Pam in front of scolding for someone else. She called me angrily saying that she didn't believe I was jealous of an clother and that her daughter could wear at any time, but that I decided to make this moment about me and not celebrate my granddaughter's life. I'm lost. I'm just heartbroken that I've been making something so loving for months for a specific moment and not been told at any point that she wouldn't use it. My family is divided, some criticizing me and others on my side. So, I'm Mother Becca here. And yes, she asked to this. I'll give the context better and leave you too. I stayed with her through delivery in the following 2 weeks, and the request because my daughter was in pain from the C-section and my son-in-laws was taking care of my granddaughter's paperwork. I put the clothes on her. There was a baby suitcase with the sets separated into packages and a label for what they were for. There was only one for leave the maternity, and there was that clother, and nothing else. I even took a look at the suitcase and asked if it was that package. She confirmed that it was what had these clothes. And no, I didn't comment on anything while I was there, because she was really stressed, tired, and didn't need a comment like this. I didn't comment with her, and I just commented with my son, because it was an extremely personal wank with no intention of reaching Pam, but the word spread. So, what do you think? A mother begged for banning my younger sister from camping. My younger sister has come to live with me during her summer vacation from college. As our parents live overseas, I've sort of been tasked with looking out for her. I try not to be overly protective and aim to be a cool older brother rather than a helicopter parent. After all, she's an adult. My sister told our parents that she planned on hanging out with her friends for a few days and that they will not leave our city. Our parents thought it would be perfectly fine and agreed to it. The problem started when my sister told me that she actually planned to go camping with some of her friends. I was cool with it and asked her to keep her cell phone on her so that she could call me if she needed to. She said that she and her friends planning on leaving behind all technologies as they wanted the fullest experience. I thought this was a bad idea and strongly recommended that at least one of them keep a phone, to which my sister responded, "They will think about it." The day before the planning trip, my sister said that they'd be joined by several more people, some of whom she described as a little sketchy. I told her that was a really bad idea and that she and her friends should consider inviting anyone that thought was sketchy. I also insisted that she take her phone. My sister flat out refused all this and said I was being too controlling. I got annoyed and said that if she wasn't willing to compromise, then she wasn't going on that trip. She started yelling at me and called our parents, telling them that I was preventing her from seeing her friends. I told them how she planning on going camping with sketchy people, and my parents also refused to let her go. After the call ended, my sister started yelling at me again, and I said I was annihilating her social life. So, am I? Am I the bad guy for reporting my sister-in-law? I occasionally ask my sister-in-law who runs a daycare to take care of my 4-year-old son when I have to go into the office for work. Her daycare usually finished at 5:30, but I ended up picking myself up at 7 due to work commitments. Despite offering to pay her for her time, she insists on doing it as a favor. During my son's last visit to her daycare, he accidentally ate peanut butter and had an anaphylactic shock. My sister-in-law did take him to get medical attention, but when she informed me about the incident, she downplayed it and saying he had just felt itchy at the time and a small rash. She claimed that he hadn't had a severe reaction, and I only discovered the truth when I found only one instead of the usual 2 injections I keep in my son's bag later that week after thinking it felt lighter than usual. I was extremely upset about this situation. I would have never found out if I hadn't checked on my son after his dad died. He only speaks selectively. I confronted my sister-in-law, expressing my anger and frustration that she had downplayed the severity of the reaction. In response to the incident of her downplaying, I made the decision to report her daycare to the local authority. I believe that it's important to hold her accountable, as my son had a severe reaction while under her care. However, the family believes I am overreacting. They argue that since my mother-in-law was doing me a favor, I should be more forgiving and understanding. They believe I should appreciate her help and not cause trouble for her, and rescind my complaint as she's a family. And I'm not sure I'm overreacting or not, as my son is involved and I'm quite overprotective of him. So what do you think? Am I the bad guy for using our building's washer and dryer at 6:20 a.m.? So I live in an apartment complex, in which each building of the complex houses 8 units, first floor and second floor, and each building has a coin-operated washer and dryer, and a dedicated laundry room for residents to use. They are quite popular, so you definitely have to keep an eagle eye on them whenever you want to use them. It just so happens that the laundry room is right next to my neighbor's, right below my unit. I thought it would be a good idea to do my laundry this morning as soon as I wake up, because it will give me a surefire chance of being able to use them. Well, after loading my clothes and a couple of flights up and down the stairs later, my neighbor came out of his unit as soon as I was opening the laundry room door. He sternly whispered at me saying, "Yo, it's barely after 6 a.m. I'm trying to sleep. I can hear the washing machine running through my walls." To which I replied, "I'm sorry if I disturb you, but I want to able the laundry at the time when no one else was using it." He replied with, "I'm telling our landlord about this. This is ridiculous." He then slammed his door. I just took a quick look at our lease agreement, and I see that our quiet hours are 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. on Sundays. Also, I didn't see any explicit quiet hours for the laundry rooms. So I wanted to use the washer and dryer early in the morning because no one else will be using it. I could yell at my neighbor because I woke someone up and early, which was ridiculous of me to do. and they are going to complain our landlord about it. I'm really confused. I was outside the quiet hours. So what do you think? Am I the bad guy for not forgiving my mom after what happened at Christmas? I live abroad and came back to my mother's to spend Christmas there with my family. I usually come back home 2-3 times a year. Upon landing on December 23rd at night, my mother announced to me that she actually planned on leaving the day after Christmas to spend New Year's celebration with her friends, leaving on December 26th and coming back on January 2 to take me to the airport the next day. I was obviously deeply upset because she hid this piece of information to me, and it meant that I was going to spend my whole vacation there alone by myself. We argued in the car on the way home, and she mentioned that I was not so clear with my plans during my stay here, that I was going to leave on December 31st anyway, to spend New Year's with my cousins, so it made sense for her to make other plans as well. I felt that she tried to gaslight me to serve her purposes. She had no intentions to let me know of what will happen. Tried to hide as many things as possible, and I felt deeply hurt. Following Christmas, the whole family pointed this out and another out when she was not there, and I felt deeply embarrassed because I let this one go. I tried not to think about it and wanted to spend nice holidays with my family. I felt that my mom manipulated me and got her way. Upon leaving in the morning, she cut the healing, and when I came back home, the place was super cold and I was there by myself. I felt overwhelming, cried, and calling my sister, she offered to come pick me up in order for me to not be alone. I changed my flights and never came back home afterwards. My mother was very unapologetic about it and felt no remorse about anything immediately. After several weeks, she tried to call me several times, texted me, but she never wanted to admit her mistakes, lying to me, gaslighting me, not caring about me, and the furthest that she came from an apology was saying that she should not have left and that Christmas is meant to be spent with family. I'm deeply hurt and does not trust her anymore. The whole thing escalated to the point where my grandma had to call me to let me know that my mom feels deeply hurt, that I should forgive her and let it go because she's so sad about the whole situation. Needless to say that I am devastated that my mom does not want to admit any of her mistakes, prefers to preserve her ego and her pride in order to save face. My whole family is on the fence about it. Everyone agrees with me, but since my mom is deeply sad about it and that it's truly impacted her, I shall forgive her. So am I the bad guy for not forgiving my mother? Am I the bad guy for leaving my brother's engagement party? My older brother, Mike, 28 male, got engaged to his girlfriend, 23 female. As per tradition, our parents said they will throw them an engagement party and of course inviting me. I'm beyond happy for him. I moved away for college when I turned 18 and I've been very busy ever since, so I don't visit home very much. I didn't even take it to Christmas for a few years. Luckily for me, Mike's engagement party was on my golden weekend. I traveled 6 hours by plane and made it to the party and congratulated Mike in person. Also, I got to see my aunts, uncles, cousins, and everyone I hadn't seen for a long while. They were asking about what I was doing, how my rotations were, similar questions, etc. Mike pulled me aside and told me to please stop stealing the show again on his goddamn engagement party. I was confused. All I did was literally show up. So I asked him what was going on. He said I keep outgoing him and everything and ever stole this show on his engagement party. And also like background info. Between the two of us, I was the calm, academical inclined one who was a straight A student and recently started residency. He was the artistically inclined troublemaker. However, from my perspective, that was 8 years ago, and I only visited a handful of times during these years. I told him I was sorry and asked him what he would like me to do. He told me to stop doing what I was doing and not brag about my job, dating life, or anything else. Mind you, I was being asked questions, not bragging. I thought he simply wanted me to leave his party based on this and left, saying he could enjoy the spotlight as he pleased. I was honestly sad that he wasn't at all happy to see me and was mostly angry. My parents keep calling me asking me to come back, but I said I didn't want to disturb Mike's night. My parents think I was a bad guy and caused a scene, as does Mike. I told them about Mike's comments, and they are now outraged on him. Everyone's in a conflict more or less. So what do you think? Am I the bad guy here? Am I the bad guy for telling a waitress it's not a competition? Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm leaning towards me not being a bad guy, but this woman is so angry with me. I can't help but wonder if I was in the wrong. So to set the stage, I'm at the gathering. One of the people there is Jane, very nice, currently a nurse. Another person is Sarah. Don't know her as well, seemed very nice. Jane was talking about her nursing shift a few days ago when someone specifically asked about her job. Then, when they asked if it must be rough during COVID, she responded, "Oh yeah," and asked if she got paid enough. Of course not. All of a sudden, Sarah goes, "Oh, I've had worse nights sometimes at the restaurant where she works. I don't think anyone realized we probably have the toughest job there dealing with people directly chuckles. But I guess nursing can be hard." Everyone was kind of stunning, confused, annoyed looking. I just wanted to break the awkwardness. And so I said, "It's not a competition." People laughed. Convo basically resumed. Sarah got quiet. I noticed. She has done since PMDMA, on LinkedIn, all places, telling me I was out of line and disrespectful to her in service, and the people bust their ass serving you dinner. By the way, I haven't eaten out in over a year, but okay. I was starting to feel bad, but then, as I was typing some sort of an apology, she sent another message stating, "I'm a server, Jane's nurse. Yes, she works hard, but even nursing school or during the pandemic isn't a taught as how it gets in restaurants sometimes when it's busy. Try dealing with tall customers who have picky tastes." I shit you not. I think this woman will argue with a Holocaust survivor on who was it worse. At that point, I just blocked her. I guess she figured it out because I'm hearing from mutual friends that she's calling me a bad guy. So, am I? Am I the bad guy for fat shaming my friend's autistic boyfriend? My mom and stepdad had to go see my grandparents because of some emergency, so it was just me and my twin siblings. I had planned on inviting 2 friends, and my parents said I still could, so they come. One of my friends brought her boyfriend, Mike. I usually don't mind, the more the merrier, but I'm not a fan of this. He's kind of dick and blames it on his autism, but I don't know. I'm not really educated on all that. Anyways, my sister was playing in their playroom, but my brother was bored and wanted attention. He's really into having ABS and muscles and being strong right now, and he does gymnastic and all that, so he was going cartwheels and stuff till he got a little dizzy. He sat on my lap and started showing me his arms and asked if his muscle got bigger. He's 8, so he still has little arms. But I said, "Oh my God, they're totally getting bigger." Mike randomly interrupted to go, "Nah man, you got noodle arms." My brother didn't really catch what he said, so he just brushed him off, but I was upset. Discreetly told him to shut up. But Mike was like, "What? I'm just telling the truth. He has to do a lot more than that to get some real muscles. Noodle ass kid." I reminded him that my brother is 8, but he said that his age is irrelevant here. My brother then decided to show another gymnastic move. I think it's a round off, but no. But he did it, and we all clapped for him. Except, of course, Mike. He went, "That was anticlimactic." He continued with, "No offense, but this is the most unimpressive kid ever. Get out of here with your skinny ass. I was honestly so pissed off at this point that I sarcastically said, I would like to see your fat ass try to do that. What he did. He immediately got upset, and his girlfriend gasped like I said something outrageous. Where was her horror when her boyfriend was insulting my kid brother? But Mike got all up in my face about being a witch before leaving. His girlfriend told me that I went too far, especially since I know he has autism, and that she can't believe I fat-shamed him when he isn't even fat. Besides, he isn't wrong, and our brother's annoying. My other friend that was there told me that she thinks he was rude, but I did too much. So, I'm not the bad guy here.